Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Riviera Fish, and for today, this is an episode that was requested by a viewer asking to go over certain card combinations and how to change certain player types. First off, I'll go on about how to get the most out of practice matches, how to get as many cards out of those. As you can see in the top screen, we have 1 week until we go off against an actual match. So when we go into the match screen, we have an opportunity to go against different teams. The general idea is to go for the strongest team. In this case, Paradox Athletic are currently 12th in Pro League 1, so they're technically the highest rated team here. So we're going to a practice match with them. We want to get as many cards as we can. We try and play as badly as possible. This is if you want to get as many cards as you want. This is probably one of the better options because you get cards based on how badly you play or how often you make weird mistakes with your team. So in this case, I'm just going to go full attack. Hopefully we can get as many cards as we can. Let's get into it. And I shall skip to the end to see how many cards we end up getting. Okay, it's the end of the match. A bit of an odd one, because despite the fact we lost 1-0, we did only manage to get 5 cards out of that. However, it's still 5 cards. I have had moments where I have had 3 cards, but if you play at this, there's probably a guarantee you'd get at least 4 cards out of it. And right now, just judging by the looks of them, we did get some really high priority cards, and I'll go over certain card combinations which I believe are the more important ones you should know about. Okay, in this screen, this is where you see all the cards that you have available, and on the bottom screen, you can see we can press B to go back, or we can press Y to check the info. And what that does, if I press it, puts up a list of all the cards that you currently own. Right now, you can see the whole list for all the shooting type of shots. Shooting type of cards we have here. I'll go through some of the cards that I find extremely useful during my playthroughs. So of course, one of the most important aspects of football is shooting, so all the shooting cards are extremely useful, and I'll go through each of them very slowly so you can pause and see what type of combination you need to make them. Banana shot's one of my favourite ones, but we've still yet to see that fully utilised yet. Hopefully we can see it. Next up are 2 dribbling cards, fast dribble and rapid dribbling. Also, as you see in the bottom over there, headed shot. In my opinion, that is one of the most useful cards combination you can have. The reason why is, not only does it give a big boost to jump, it also gives a slight boost to kicking. This is also extremely useful for goalkeepers. And I'm not sure if you've noticed in some of the matches, but if a corner is given at the very last couple of minutes, when added time is given, the goalkeepers come up and assist. This happens a lot of the time. If you give your goalkeeper a headed shot, they have a high chance of scoring. And as you know, if any of you watch the Premier League, we know that Alisson Becker has scored for Liverpool, giving them a very important 3 points, which helped them get to 3rd place in the Premier League this season. Okay, these cards, I find them very useful. It's the passing cards, so you have first touch pass, which is quite self-explanatory. Pinpoint pass, meaning the pass is a lot more accurate. Velvet pass, which means it just flows across in the air. Killer pass means extremely powerful, and there's one a bit further down. I'll go all the way over to it. Long pass and long throw. Long pass is better for defensive midfielders and defenders because it means they can just launch a counter-attack directly from their half. And long throw, that's for when the ball goes out for a throw-in, and rather than having 1 or 2 players be there to have the ball passed to from the throw-in, you just instantly throw it into the box. However, this only happens when they are close to the box. Okay, attack waves and second strike are extremely good for players who are strikers and want those rebound shots. So again, attack waves and second strike. Some defensive combos consist of chasing, intercepting, and I'll go down for the rest of them. Offside trap's pretty good. Wing block is good for those on the wing, of course, to stop the advances from happening there. Okay, covering is very good if you have a player that's about to run off and you want someone to cover their position. Again, a lot of the names are very self-explanatory. Brick wall is very good in my opinion. Dogged marker. Iron Defense, and finally Risky Block. These are the main defensive ones that I use. In addition to the defending ones, there's also the chain. I didn't see this until way later, and this was one I really like to use. If there's also ones for those playmaking style of players in midfield, so you're a strategist, attack pivot, which is good for attacking players as well, and then control tower. The next three are also very good in my opinion. So Star Striker, that's obviously for the strikers, Goal Sniffer for those offensive players, and then finally, the only card that makes sense in my opinion, Free Kick Master. It uses set plays, place kicks, and penalty kick practice, and is the only one that really makes sense to me. Not sure if any of you managed to find these out, but there are specific goalkeeper card combos. In this case I have 3 of them. There might be one more, I'm not entirely sure. But the ones that I do have now on this save are Titanic Goalie, Super Save, finally Desperate Saves. Finally, the miscellaneous set of cards that I like to use are Multi-Tool, which I think contributes to the player becoming a Dynamo. Do not quote me on that. Super Sub. Finally, the one that I find the most baffling, Captaincy. That's right, you have to use a card combo in order to give a captain to your team. Okay, on to the more specific player type card combos. When you want to make a player a certain type, let's say Sprinter for example, you need to choose a bunch of cards that correlate to that type. So Sprinter is one of the most obvious one, that obviously includes speed, so that would require something such as Fast Dribble or Rapid Dribbling. And if I go all the way down, there should be another one, or a bunch of them. Diagonal Run is a good one, and I find that Wing Attack and Overlapping are very good for finding sprinters in your team. Open Space is also a very good one in my opinion. For the Chancer type of players, those are players who are more inclined towards attacking movements. Those would require shooting card combos. So I'll go over the ones I currently have on this save. Additionally, that's not limited to just kicking, it also involves headed ones as well. So driving shot's okay, but let me find headed shot. Here it is. Headed shot is also a good option to help you find the Chancer type of player. And it is also worthwhile to mention that the player type is not set in stone. If your player type becomes a sprinter and you give them a not optimal card for sprinting, there is a chance they do change types. So do not worry if your sprinter changes type. It happens a lot. Just try and put them back onto the right track. So if you wanted a sprinter, you try and find some sort of sprinting one, such as, if I go all the way down, Diagonal Run, Wing Attack, or Overlapping, something like that. In my opinion, the easiest one to make, however it's harder to pinpoint which ones they are the 4 defensive ones. That is Backup, Seeker, Marker, and Stopper. So for Stopper, I think Body of Steel works quite well for them. And if I go down, try and find another one real quickly. Okay, Chasing and Intercepting, they're both very good defensive ones. I think Intercepting is for Seekers, if I remember correctly. Oh, and Chasing is for Markers. Brick Wall, I'm assuming that's very good for Stoppers. Dogged Marker, I wonder what that's going to be. Obviously, that's the marker. Iron Defense, that's just a general very good defensive card combo, in my opinion. Risky Block, that is also another one for the Stopper, because Stoppers, their ability is to, if I remember correctly, whenever an opponent has an opportunity to shoot, they would slide in front of it. So Risky Block is a very good defensive card combo. The Chain is also a very good defensive card combo, in my opinion, just in general for defenders. Okay, Iron Fist. Iron Fist is also a good defensive one. So any of the defensive card combos can give you a variety of those 4. Just to reiterate, that's the Backup, the Seeker, the Marker, and the Stopper. There are a few card types that I can't mention because personally I do not know what the exact cards are that allow them to be made. I think those are Mavericks and Creators. However, for those two, I'm thinking they have to use cards which allow them to be playmakers. So for example, Strategist could be one, Attack Pivot, and Control Tower, which I've already mentioned are good midfield card combos. However, if I go down, there should be another one, which is a 3-card combo. Here it is. Football Professor. That does sound like it would be something a creator would use. Also, we have Mood Maker, yet again another 3-card combo. However, this one is a trickier one to get because I found that Karaoke, that card appears a lot less than the other ones. While Football Professor, that uses gaming, but gaming again doesn't appear as much in my playthrough as much as Karaoke does. And if I go down, there might be another one, I think. Ah, here it is. Another 3-card combo, but this one is a lot easier. This is Keen Coaching, and that one uses minigame, line control, and judo. Additionally, for the Maverick and created player types, I'm assuming that the passing card combos would be very good for them as well, considering the fact that creators would pass a lot. So first touch pass, pinpoint pass, velvet pass, and I'm thinking missing one here, and then killer pass, I'm assuming would be very good categories for getting the Maverick or the creator. Finally, let's talk about balanced players and Dynamo players. For balanced, do not be worried if during the whole of the first season your whole entire team are just balanced. It's exactly how it's meant to go. It takes a long time for you to get the cards in order to change types, and even then you still have to balance which players you want to train and which ones you might drop a bit later. It's perfectly fine if you don't have a set player during the first season. Perfectly fine. And then in order to change to Dynamo, the only card I can think of that I've had really big success with is Multi-Tool. There could be a bunch of different ones, but Multi-Tool is a pretty good one and fits the aspect of Dynamos very well. The fact that they switch between attack and defense when required. To finish off the video, I'll show quickly what to do when you have just all these cards here. You don't have any knowledge of what they do, what kind of combos they make. So really quickly, I'll swap over to my desktop. And right now, you should be able to see a whole list of all the cards you can have. And right now, if I go back to my screen here, you can see that I have all the cards available. So going back over there, that means I can tick all of them. Now once I've done that, as you can see at the bottom there, it shows me every single type of card I'm able to make. And this is by far the best site that I've seen for these card combos. And there's another reason why. On the right here, it says use cards. If I click this, it auto deselects the cards that it uses, which means if I have a whole list of cards, I can constantly do this. So let's say I want to use Roulette Turn next. This uses agility, stretching, and gaming. Press that. Agility, stretching, and gaming should be gone from here. And I can keep going until I've exhausted all the cards. So right now, let's say I want to use Rush Attack. Dribbling, passing, signing. Dribbling, passing, and signing should be gone. The chain. Okay, and this should thin it out. So Free Kick Master. And let's say I want to use Super Save next. Body Balance. Eye Contact. Relentless Pressure. Finally, and with that, that's the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learnt a lot more about cards, how to get them, how to make combos, and how to get certain player types. Hopefully this will be very helpful for you. See you in the next video.